Well, I'm basically doing this video to remind myself that working is difficult and silence is always the answer, the correct answer. And I mean to say this because in so many instances in my life, I have seen that keeping quiet and just letting people vent their anger or whatever they have inside, because sometimes they aren't even right. They just want to argue. They just want to let out whatever anger they have inside. And I realized that I don't have to be right in every single conversation that I have, and I don't have to be constantly fighting that sort of thing. I don't like to discuss, and even less so when people really are not trying to like hear my point, you know. And what I am gonna do in the future probably is that I'm gonna keep quiet and take the administrative days, because sometimes you don't feel good. Sometimes you don't feel good and you have to take some days off. And even more so if your job is pretty difficult. But keep it far in between. Keeping it far in between, yeah. And basically, I wanted to talk a little bit about what I have experienced in my workplace, and talk a little bit, not only about my experience, but also other people's experience. And I want to talk a little bit about, like, for example, this experience that I had, that I was hearing that my coworker was basically telling a newbie that she was autistic just because she just didn't want to socialize. She wanted to be by herself. And I don't get why people are trying to force other people to be who they are not. It doesn't really do anything to the work if she socializes or not. I don't think that that's something that is necessary. And she wasn't like mean or anything. She was just to herself. I don't know, because I never had a conversation with her, but she didn't do anything to my coworker. So I didn't get it. And it was pretty difficult to see, because it was a sight to behold. And it's because she's supposed to be older than the newbie. And I don't mean only in the workplace. I mean, the newbie was like 20 or something like that, and my coworker is like 15. She's supposed to be wiser. She's supposed to be an adult. She's supposed to behave like that, and she's not doing it. And I don't get it. When I began working in general, I didn't realize that just because you're an adult, just because someone is older doesn't mean that they're wiser or they are acting like an adult. And I realized that every single time, and more as time passes by. I hope that I never become like that. And this also happened in other situations. I don't get it. I mean, I'm getting older and I don't have the same attitude that I had when I was in my early 20s. I'm in my mid 20s. And I don't have the same attitude. I mean, I don't think that I'm totally different, but I do believe that I have more confidence in myself, and I do believe that I try to make myself a lot clearer, or at least I try to, because sometimes in the workplace, the thing that I tend to do is that I tend to zone out, or at least it's not like exactly disassociation, but I try to keep my mind a little bit blank so I don't feel like overwhelmed, and even more so when I begin a new job. Because in some way that helps you. It helps you because I feel like constantly in my mind I am thinking like I'm gonna be in here indefinitely. I'm not earning that much. What's gonna happen in the future? Eh, am I gonna be able to study what I want to study? Am I gonna be able to complete the achievements that I want to achieve? Am I gonna be able to keep on going? Because sometimes you just get motivated. You just get so frustrated, and sometimes the day to day, the daily living, I don't know, the day to day, you just feel like every single day is the same. Sometimes it's a little bit overwhelming, sometimes it's a little bit frustrating. You get anxiety. So, yeah. And I get that we should never. I don't think that the answer is to bend that anger towards anybody else. You just have to realize that you're feeling frustrated, that you have to work on that. The majority of the people doesn't do that. I have seen so many people that want to like a blame others or try to I don't know, make others feel bad so you feel better. And I think that that's so toxic. I think that that's so so unempathetic. I feel that that's apathy to next level. Making somebody feel bad so you feel good. It doesn't really, for me, it's something unthinkable. So yeah. And yeah, in this country, usually people have like I guess you have like 3 contracts until you, or 2 contracts until you get the definite one, the one that you don't have to renovate, that you don't have to do anything about it, you just have it, and up until they fire you, you're gonna be employed. So basically, in this job that I was in the clinic, this girl says basically that I obtained that because of her. I was being kind to her, but I'm kind to everybody. And it's not because we were friends or anything like that. I just was doing my job, and it's frustrating because it's like people don't really care about the job anymore, or about doing the work that you're assigned. It's more about if they like you or not, and I don't think that things should be like that. It's not everything about socializing, but I get that, or at least no, now I get it, that most jobs nowadays are about socializing, or about people liking you, because or what you say about you, because people don't see actions, they don't try to, they see what the person says, because people believe that if you complain it's because you're doing your job. If you I don't know, say this must be the truth, and it's not the case at all. The majority of the people, and this happens to me even in my family, I think that sometimes people want to take credit for the work of, or at least, let's not say take credit, let's say they want to believe that their work are worth more than the other person's work. I don't think that that's the case. I think that if you do the same job, it's the same. It should be the same payment. If you don't make the same, if you don't achieve the same tasks, the same accomplishments, or the same task that are asked of you, you should not be earning the same. The the salary is the same, so you should be doing the same work. Your work is not worth more or less than anybody else.